Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. Today is the 5th of February, 2019. I'm Judge Executive David Vogel. Very happy to have all of you here today. I'd like to ask you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We appreciate having cell phones turned to off or vibrate during the meeting so it doesn't disturb anyone or interfere with our PA system. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Harrison.
Here.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Here.
Magistrate Logsdon. Here. Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the Fiscal Court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Are there any corrections, additions, or anything anybody like to change? Hearing nothing, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now I'd like to ask our clerk, Sheila Fair, to please read the minutes from our last meeting.
January 15th, 2019. The Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. with Judge Executive David Vogel, County Attorney John Carter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Albert Harrison, Steve Greenwell, Chris Hounds, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Logsdon. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the agenda. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to approve the meeting minutes of December 18th, 2018. Motion carried 7-0-2. Magistrates Harrison and Hawkins abstained. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the meeting minutes of January 1st, 2019. Motion carried 7-0-2. Magistrates Harrison and Hawkins abstained. Public comment. Rick Noel, 1180 Pattons Creek in Pendleton. He's the owner of the old oak frame house, inquired about the status of the new traffic light installation at Highway 146 and 53 in LaGrange. Judge Vogel stated he anticipates delivery in March. Sheriff's Office 2018 financial statement. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Tice to authorize the Judge Executive to sign the Sheriff's Office financial statement for 2018. Motion carried unanimously. Bid opening for the jail body scanners. The following sealed bids for the jail body scanners were open and read aloud for the record. Romaine Company, $116,000. OD Security, $118,750. County Administration, budget transfer fiscal year 19. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Logsdon to approve the budget transfers for fiscal year 19. Motion carried unanimously. Payables. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to approve the payables. Motion carried unanimously. Surplus property. Motion made by Magistrate Tice, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to declare surplus the list of county property, the Sheriff's Office damaged 2013 Ford Interceptor with the intention to salvage. Motion carried unanimously. 2019 staff appointments. Motion made by Magistrate Logsdon, seconded by Magistrate Dye to approve the 2019 staff appointments list as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Contract agreements and resolutions. Shared access agreement, 700 West Jefferson Street property. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize the Judge Executive to sign the shared easement agreement relating to the parking lot at 700 West Jefferson Street in LaGrange. Motion carried unanimously. Resolution, Kentucky Office of Highway Safety Traffic Enforcement Grant. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Dye to authorize the Judge Executive to sign Resolution Number 0101-1519 relating to a KOHS grant to allow additional hours of traffic safety enforcement in Oldham County. Motion carried unanimously. Proposal for building consultant. Motion made by Magistrate Likens, seconded by Magistrate Tice to approve the budgeting and concept design services proposal from Encompass relating to renovation of the vacant church building located at 108 West Jefferson Street, LaGrange, with a cost not to exceed $6,830. Motion carried unanimously. Resolution, Worthington Fire and Oldham County EMS. Motion made by Magistrate Likens, seconded by Magistrate Harrison to authorize the Judge Executive to sign Resolution Number 0201-1519, supporting Oldham County EMS as the sole ambulance provider in Oldham County. Motion carried unanimously. Committee report and recommendation. Road Committee Erosion Control Bond Release for Arbor Ridge Point Parking Expansion. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Logsdon, upon the recommendation of the county engineer to release the $11,224.20 erosion control bond relating to the Arbor Ridge Point Parking Expansion Project. Motion carried unanimously. Executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810G and F. G, discussions with a business entity concerning a specific proposal that would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business. And F, discussions which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to enter into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810G and F. Motion carried unanimously. Judge Vogel asked the following to attend in addition to fiscal court members: Jay Hall, Russ Rose, Kevin Nuss, and Stan Clark. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to come out of closed session and resume the public meeting. Motion carried unanimously. Personnel actions. Road Department. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Logsdon to hire Kevin Alexander as Equipment Operator 2 at $15 an hour effective January 16th, 2019. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to accept the resignation of Wes Williams effective January 15th, 2019. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Likens to appoint Ben Kimbler as Acting Road Superintendent at $23.94 an hour effective January 15th, 2019, not to exceed 90 days. Motion carried unanimously. Animal Control. Motion made by Magistrate Likens, seconded by Magistrate Tice to hire Richard Mead IV as Animal Control Officer at $15 an hour effective February 11th. Motion carried unanimously. Police. Motion made by Magistrate Logsdon, seconded by Magistrate Dye to hire Joseph Dennis as 5-year lateral police officer effective January 16th per attached contract. Motion carried unanimously. Board appointments. The Olda Board. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to appoint Stephen Edwards to the Oldham LaGrange Development Board to fulfill the unexpired term of John Black with a term to expire May 31st, 2019. Motion carried unanimously. Oldham County Dispatch Board. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Logsdon to appoint Chris Hounds to the Oldham County Dispatch Board, replacing Steve Greenwell. Motion carried unanimously. Second public comment, none. Announcements. Judge Vogel and magistrates welcome Magistrate Hawkins and Harrison to their first fiscal court meeting. Magistrate Likens thanked the county employees who attend fiscal court meetings and do the behind-the-scenes work to make these meetings happen. Magistrate Harrison stated it's an honor and privilege to be representing District 3 and commended Westport Area's unofficial homeowner association for sharing information so effectively, watching out for the well-being of the community. Magistrate Greenwell expressed his appreciation for the opportunity to serve as the fiscal court representative on the OCD board and agrees that Magistrate Hounds is a good addition to the board. Magistrate Hounds stated he's looking forward to serving on the OCD board. Magistrate Hawkins stated she's honored to be here and looking forward to serving Oldham County. Motion made by Magistrate Logsdon and seconded by Magistrate Dye to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously, and the meeting adjourned at 5:45 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from January 15th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Time now for public comment. That's the time during our meeting when anyone who would like to address the fiscal court is able to do so. We generally allow up to 4 minutes to speak to the court. Is there anyone here who would like to address the fiscal court? I ask you to state your name and address, please.
Charlene Going, 3708 Wayno Drive, Crestwood. I am here on an ongoing issue with the Oldham County Water District. When they made the change, originally I thought it was 50% of the county was going to be changed from the 15th to the 15th billing. They changed it to the 1st. So in October, we got a 16-day billing with, of course, the reduced amount for the water, but the sewer charge on that was a complete full month's charge. And the excuse that I have heard from the Water District, I've been to 2 meetings there, is that the Oldham County Water Company will not prorate. Well, whether they do or not, it still is an overcharge for all of those people that got that short billing and paid a full amount of sewage charge for only 16 days worth of service. So that I left the last meeting and I went to the Public Service Commission, and they informed me that the fiscal court has ownership over the water district, which I had no idea. So I can't get an impartial thing from the Public Service Commission. I just wanted someone to look into this because the math is there. I have the proof on this bill that shows I'm being charged for a full month with only 16 days service.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say there, and it's a surprise to us that we're in charge of the Oldham County Water District. We do appoint the board members of the district, but the board members act independently once they're appointed. I don't want to put your problem in the classification of a hot potato that keeps, getting passed around. I understand what you're saying there. They changed the billing system and bill you again within 30 days of the time that you had paid the last bill.
No,
I'm not,
it's not that they're
or
billing me
the
again.
time frame
Yeah.
shrunk by 15 days. There is, I'm not able to adequately explain that. I heard the Oldham County Sewer District explain it to you at the last meeting that you attended. They tried to, and I don't know. It possibly your service began sooner than you were originally billed or would continue longer than you owed for. I understand something at the beginning and something at the end seems like voodoo or something because you don't remember exactly when you began probably. And
30
you won't-
years ago.
Right, you won't know when you
30
ended.
something.
You're the only individual, I think, in the community that's raised this issue. I don't honestly know what to do about it. We're, might be stuck there. I mean, it's something that you have to go back to the sewer district and water district, and you've been there and didn't get any satisfaction. I don't know exactly how to satisfy you here either, to be honest about it. We don't
Okay.
have a way
I
of
guess I have no recourse then.
ordering a change, right? I mean, it's,
Is there anyone on this panel that was affected by this, by the change from the 15th? Or have you always paid your water from the 1st to the 1st?
I can answer that. Wayno Court's in District 6. However, I'm on,
mic on?
can you hear me? Oh, I can hear me now. So you're in District 6, and so experience with that in District 6, I haven't heard of anybody else having that issue. I personally am on septic, and it sounds like you're on sewer. And I could certainly look into it and get back to you.
Well, I talked with a neighbor, and she said she didn't pay any attention to it, she just paid it, which I think most people would do because you don't expect to be ripped off by the water or the sewer company. But this is definitely that. So please
I
do look
understand.
into it and
I
see
will.
if anyone else.
I will, and I'll get your name from Sheila. I think she took
And
your
if I
name.
need to make any kind of formal complaint, I'd be happy to do that, if that helps anything.
Yeah.
Mr. Greenwell?
Thank you, Judge. I have Oldham County Water, and I noticed the change in the billing date, and I'm not on sewers, and so I wasn't affected like that. But what is the amount that we're talking about?
It's $52.60, which is for the full month.
And you say you should only be paying half of that, I would.
That's correct. I think
Okay.
it should have been prorated because the service dates are only 16 days worth of service. So why should I pay a full month's worth of sewer charges?
Based on your arguments, I have learned that there are two sides to every story, but
Right.
given what you've told me, I think you have a fair case. I do. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the fiscal court? Saying no, and I'm going to close the public comment and go on to the first item under county administration, item A, and those are the bills for the last 2 weeks to be
Judge, I
paid.
make a motion, we pay the bills.
For a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on any of these? I think magistrates will, and the community should know that included in the bills is a payment for the old Oldham County road garage facility. That was for $520,000. We purchased that. The state bought it from us several years ago for 1.7. We're buying it back for $520,000. Some property was decreased in that, but this is the appraised price that the state is asked for. So, all right, hearing no further questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We have some surplus property here to dispose of, and I'm going to ask our county treasurer, Melissa Horn, if she'd like to review this.
Good afternoon. I'm asking you to surplus a 2013 Ford Police Interceptor Utility, which is also known as the Explorer. This vehicle was involved in a head-on collision, and CAECO determined the damages were a total loss. We will receive $8,395 for it, and Copart Copart Auto, will be responsible for the removal and the salvage.
Measure Greenwell.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we surplus this vehicle.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Were there any injuries in this?
The people were transported. I don't know
Nothing
beyond
significant.
that. Our employee was, the sheriff's employee was okay. I don't know about the others, though.
I think that speaks pretty good for the Explorer, I think.
Any further discussion on surplusing this item? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Under contract administration and resolutions, Becky Zockline is here to go through a couple of applications for grants.
Good afternoon, Judge and members of the Fiscal Court. Every year, we are offered the opportunity to apply for grants under the Division of Waste Management. Those grants are recycling equipment and education, and also household hazardous waste. We use those funds for purchasing equipment at our recycling center and also educating the public about recycling. That would be the recycling equipment grant. And we use the household hazardous waste funds to conduct our household hazardous waste collection event, which is held the third Saturday in October every year. And we use that money to pay the event operator and also advertising. So I'm asking the court today to allow the judge to sign the documents related to this grant application, or both grant applications, which will be submitted probably by March.
Masha Hawkins, is there a recommendation from your committee?
Yes, I recommend you sign this.
For second? Second. Is there any discussion about these grant applications?
Judge,
Sir.
I just want to make a comment about the household hazardous waste. Have had an opportunity in the past where a client's house we had to empty, and the amount of paint, pesticides, herbicides, you name it, was almost probably half of a pickup truck load that they took up in October of last year. It's a great program to get rid of that stuff without dumping it into landfill, properly disposing of it. And the one thing that we, with your advice, the water-based paints we were able to take care of on our own, but the oil-based paints and the stains and that we're able to get rid of through this grant. I don't know what it would have cost the homeowner to get rid of this stuff on their own.
Yeah,
But the household hazardous waste program, it's a great program. I'm glad we're
Thank
supporting
you.
it.
Yes.
All right, is there anyone else? All right, I think we take one of these one at a time. First one for the solid waste recycling grant. We've had a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And now for the second one, to apply for the household hazardous waste collection event grant application here. Sir, you want to make?
I'll make that motion, Judge, that for the household hazardous waste collection event grant application to be signed.
Second?
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Becky. Tim Keel is here from Dispatch to talk about interlocal agreement with LaGrange and Pewee Valley. Tim, would you come forward?
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, court members. Here today to ask for the judge's signature on the interlocal agreement between Pewee Valley, City of Pewee Valley and City of LaGrange for management control of the OCD board.
Want to tell us a little more about that? I mean, just how does that work?
Pretty much with the law enforcement computer, the law enforcement network in Kentucky, Link, NCIC, the computer system that we use for warrants, et cetera. Integral part of the police departments, obviously, and detective work. The FBI and state officials decided this needs to be under the control of in our situation, a management board that's comprised of predominantly law enforcement, and there's other members as well that's marked on your sheet, but all the chiefs of police have management control of that, as well as a magistrate, director of EMS, et cetera, but it's pretty much comprised primarily of law enforcement.
All right. And anybody have any questions on this service? All right, is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Jim Urban is here. You talk about the BTM engineering contract for Eden Parkway.
Good afternoon, Judge Magistrates. I'm here to ask you to approve Judge Vogel signing a contract for agreement for consulting services with BTM Engineering related to the extension of Eden Parkway in Oldham Reserve. Late last year, we put out an RFQ for consulting services, and they were received by the Fiscal Court. We reviewed those proposals that they submitted. We then interviewed firms, and after the committee having interviews, we selected BTM as having the most favorable scope of services and also the price. So last night I went to the city council meeting. This is a joint contract between the city and the county because this is in Oldham Reserve, and it's a joint project between City of LaGrange and Oldham County. And they approved the mayor signing this contract as well. The amount in item number 4 on the first page is $44,768. That's the total amount. We would be committing to splitting that in half with the city. So unless there are any other questions, ask that you consider having the judge sign this agreement.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
All right, moved and seconded that we sign the contract with BTM Engineering for line and grade work at Eden Parkway. And our responsibility here is half of the $44,768 contract. Had seen it mentioned earlier that was just the 44,000 was half of what was due, but it's half of the 44.
It's half of the 44, yeah. 44 is the total amount.
Yes, right. Right, I know what it is.
Good math.
I got it. Quick.
All the construction details for the road, for the
It would be preliminary line and grade. So what, the first step is to determine the alignment of the roadway, We're going to have a kickoff meeting on Thursday morning with our development partners and a few other folks just to talk about what we expect in terms of the road profile. This will also lead to preliminary construction costs because we don't have any idea how much the road is actually going to cost. Once that's done, then the next phase would be to possibly amend the contract with BTM or choose another firm to actually do construction documents that would be able to be bid out. I thought I was going to get arrested.
Don't take that from me. I need that yet, or maybe. Okay.
But that takes the road from where it ends now all the way around to.
To LaGrange Parkway, yes.
All right. So, all right, any other questions on the BTM contract? You're all in favor, I guess. Do we have a motion in a second? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Assume there are no negatives here.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Public Safety and Detention Center Committee, Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask Jailer Simpson to come up and talk about the full-body scanners.
Thank you, Judge. Members of court, as Magistrate Hounds mentioned, since our last time I was here, and we had the bids that were submitted from two different vendors, Magistrate Hounds and I have met several times, talked a lot over the phone over the last couple of weeks, met with the Public Safety Committee this afternoon. The two companies, obviously, just like everything else, sometimes you get a wide range of pricing, but with what we've done and all the information that I shared with the committee, I made several phone calls, numerous phone calls, let me just say that, to other jails that actually have both the units. And I sent a recommendation, I think yesterday. Chris, did you pass that out to everyone else?
I did.
Okay, so I'm assuming every member of the court, Judge, has that. My personal recommendation after doing a lot of work and phone calls and that type of thing. So my recommendation to the court and to the committee, the Public Safety Committee, that we buy 2 units, dual view from the company of OD Security. And that was my personal recommendation. And be glad to answer any questions that the other members of the court may have.
And the price on those is the $149,250?
That is actually with the, Chris, that's actually with the extended warranty. The base unit price without the warranty from OD is $137,500. $137,500.
Mike, how'd we get to 137.5 from 118? I mean, I've got a base bid.
Right, do you not have the, the key word is single view versus dual view.
Okay.
Okay. After going through everything and looking at the differences between what a single view body scanner provides and looking at the dual view as we went through the entire process. So again, my recommendation to the committee and all of our discussion was to go ahead and purchase the dual view unit, which is obviously a little bit higher than what you're looking at. Yes, sir.
But we bid this single view, apple to apple, and now we're.
We did bid that, and both companies provided information on a single view, but they also, both companies, provided as an upgrade, if you wanted to upgrade the unit to a dual view. And after, again, a lot of research, discussion, phone calls, that's where we landed, was simply to go with the
I
dual view.
understand. Do you know what the other price was?
From the other company?
Dual view?
On the dual view,
Rogaine or-
the very base unit with no upgrades, no extended warranties, was at $175 versus the $137,500 here.
And you want about 2 of these?
That is my recommendation to the committee, which we discussed this afternoon, that we purchase 2 units.
Where are we with the budget to buy these
There's-
in your budget?
There's about $425,000 in the budget for the scanners.
Yes. Did you hear what he said? Okay, all right.
We'll be at 137,500 is $275,000 for both units.
All right, Measure die.
Mike, might want to bring up the fact that on the how you're going to pay for the extended warranty.
Yeah, one of the other things as we researched the entire process, and I've shared it with the committee and Magistrate Dye and everybody on the committee, any type of upgrades, any type of extended warranties, this particular unit, the dual view unit here comes with a 3-year warranty, okay? And again, any type of upgrades, and if we decide to go with an extended warranty, we were able to get this approved through the state auditor's office, through our association several years ago, as an approved expenditure that will be paid for out of our inmate commissary account. So we wanted to go with the money that was appropriated to buy the base units, and then we can take our time and determine, if there's going to be any upgrades. And then obviously, we have a 3-year warranty, and if we want to do it the extended, we can pay for that out of the inmate commissary account.
Can you explain what a single view and a dual view is, Rig, in 10 words or
Basically,
less?
here's what it really means. Any of your single view full body scan give you one view from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Okay. The dual view focuses on the core part of your body, which obviously is where the area that they have a higher tendency, and it's a higher level of resolution that will hopefully give us a better view, better detection to determine if there's something hidden in the core part of a person's body. So that's why I wanted to make the recommendation. And we've talked about a little bit, not in depth. We're having issues, not just our jail, but jails across the state of Kentucky. The introduction of cell phones, introduction of drugs, it's there.
Might be too much information, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Measure Logston.
Mike, I usually don't question what other committees do because I don't want them to question my committees when we do something, but there's a lot of money here. So is there a reason why you need 2 versus 1? Is it time? Is it?
Actually, that question was asked today at the committee meeting. And Mike, what happened was when we designed the building, we did several things, obviously. Number one thing is we built it for expansion, okay? We have 332 beds, but somewhere down the road, as the need is there, this facility will be expanded upwards to 500 beds, okay? The other part of the design feature, one end of of the detention facility is intake. That's where all new arrests come in, okay? The opposite end of the facility is our minimum security. These are the inmates that go out and work in the community every day, and they come and go. When we designed the building, we wanted to separate general population versus those particular inmates. But unfortunately, the inmates that go out through that work program, very high level of where they're going to bring stuff back in. So we wanted one on each end. And the expansion, the future expansion of this facility is located right on that end of the building where the restrictive custody unit is. So I think what the other thing I would say to you, Mike, is this. The cost of that unit today, and I don't know when this expansion will ever take place, but what's one of these units going to cost maybe 5 years from now? So we put it in place now, put it there for today's use, but also I think put us in a better position for the future.
I'm going to go with what the committee what their recommendation is, but I guess my only thought is if we don't expand for 5 years, technology is going to change, and maybe that unit's not any good anymore. I have no idea.
A fair question, fair statement. Our minimum security, that end of the building, that's 50 inmates. We have 5 10-person cells there. I mean, and our old jail was only 115 beds, so really that end of the building is a small jail within itself. And there's a lot of in and out activity, Mike. All of your work release inmates that are final sentence through your court system, they go out in the general public every single day. And it does present a challenge. It's about safety and security for everyone concerned, obviously my staff, but obviously the inmates themselves, so.
Commissioner Dye.
Mike, I think you're missing the point that when we started this project years ago, the whole idea, if I remember correctly, and I imagine Magistrate Greenwell will remember this, the whole idea when we built this place was to keep the movement of prisoners down to a minimum, because moving prisoners takes staff, correct? So by having one on each end, they basically just come in like checking through the airport, more or less. Would you say? You don't have to move them from one end of the building, which is about as long as a football field.
446 feet from one end to the other.
Yeah, so I mean,
I've walked it a few
moving the prisoners around on a onesie, twosie basis is just too expensive.
Well, that and the other thing that would mix, we tried to, again, separation of general population inmates, Mike, versus the others, as Master Dye was talking about. There's no other way. If we have we have to have one in intake. We have to have one there. Then obviously at this point, you're moving inmates, walking them through from point A, and you're going straight through the middle of the facility all the way to the other end. So, I mean, that was my personal recommendation, and obviously sharing things with the committee, with the chair is.
One of the things we talked about, one, because of the segregation of the two groups of people, the work release folks and I'll call them the general population. If I've used the wrong term, I apologize.
Oh, you're fine, you're fine.
But to keep those folks separated, and because of the volume that we see coming out of the work release, it only makes sense to have one at that end and not have to bring them all the way through. I think everybody sees that was walked through the building. The other piece about the technology that you brought up, and when you and I had this conversation, if there are upgrades that come up, we will very much entertain those upgrades, or you will very much entertain those upgrades through the commissary money. So our goal is to try to keep the technology as updated as we can with the system. And didn't you tell us earlier in the committee that, and maybe not this particular one, but that some of the jails have had these for 5+ years, if I remember
Yeah,
right?
Louisville Metro Corrections, Boone County's probably had theirs anywhere from 3 to 4 years. Louisville Metro Corrections has 2 units there. They've probably had those longer than any other facility here. So again, and I touched base with both vendors. If an upgrade comes out, Mike, in other words, if if it's something to technology and they want to come and demo that, hey, you can add this to the particular unit, because it's just like your cell phone, they change daily. But if that upgrade happens, we can again pay for the upgrade through the inmate commissary. This initial cost outlay of money is the base unit price, but everything else we can take care of out of the inmate commissary.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. Mike, what's our commissary fund account? I mean, is it going to be able to handle this? And is there that much in it? Is there more than that in it?
Well, I will say this, the number that last time I looked at, Steve, was simply, we've been there for 13 months now. It is really, it's growing by leaps and bounds.
Okay.
We have over 300 inmates in there today versus about 120, 25. I think our probably the round number today is we probably have 85,000 in there.
Okay.
In our account. And it's going nowhere. And all of that money that has to be spent on the safety and security, well-being of the inmates. We can't spend that for anything else but that.
Okay.
So that's where it has to go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Did we have a motion? Is there a motion to allow Mike to proceed with the dual scanner from OD Security of North America?
Yes, Judge, I'd like to make the recommendation that we spend the $275,000 on 2 dual view scanners from OD Security.
Is there any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Judge, thank you. Thank you, the committee. I appreciate it. Hey, come see us if you don't have anything else on your agenda the rest of the month. All right, thanks.
Thank you. We're going to move on now to personnel actions. Tina Schaaf.
Good afternoon. The first item is is for the road department. It's a reinstatement for Wes Williams as our road superintendent with no change in the salary effective January 22nd.
Judge, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The second item is a new hire, Tracy Witt, at the police department for a school security officer, effective today per the attached contract. So he would be a contract employee year to year.
He's the same as the others?
I'll second.
Same as the other?
We have a motion. I heard a second, but I didn't hear a motion.
Logston didn't have his mic on.
Mr. Logston, all right. Motion second.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And you have-
Now, we also have one other item that I want to add here, and now under the police. I apologize for the not having this in the book, but we do have a resignation here, and that has to do with Greg Collette. Greg Collette was nominated and approved last night to be the chief of police for the city of LaGrange. Greg has been one of our school security officers. He's asked for, normally we ask for a 2-week notice if you're going to leave, but because they do not have a chief of police there right now, Greg has asked for an exception or waiver to our normal rule. I told him I thought it'd be all right, but I want to bring that before the court now and make you okay with that.
Accept his resignation.
All right, pardon? Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. I'm happy to see the new mayor of LaGrange here today, John Black. Wish you well in your administration and congratulate you on securing an extremely good officer to lead your police department. You're welcome to come up in public comment in a moment or two if you'd like to say something about it. We also have a former mayor of Crestwood here with us today, Dennis Dybel, and recognize you, Mayor Dybel, and thank you for being here with us.
Judge, if I may, former Mayor Dybel now has a new title, is approved by the City Council,
Okay.
Mayor Emeritus.
Okay, great. Well, that is good. Good to know that. I think you're certainly the only one that I know, but it's good to be unique, and that you should. You, after 45 years, yeah, I think you earned that title. Or was it 44? I can't remember. 46. All right. Well,
We'll get it right.
I knew I was close. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Magistrate. Mayor Emeritus. That's great. And I hope the old Emira will make note of that. It's a well-deserved title for somebody who's worked hard and long for his city. Let's go on to board appointments now. I'd like to have Jan Horton, of course, recently submitted his resignation. Jan is moving to another county. Sorry to see Jan go. He served on the Planning Commission well for several terms, and we wish Jan and his wife the best in their new location. I'd like to ask the court to accept my appointment of Katie Nasser to a term that would continue until August of this year, and then we'll reconsider Katie again. That would be the balance of Jan Horton's term.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
Question, is that her residence address or business address?
Business address.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. She did put down a business address here, Railroad Avenue, and I might add that we've had since we put up our new, you may have seen our new flashing light on Railroad Avenue there. We've got a big sign there, and we've been very fortunate since that's been up not to have any additional trucks stuck on the track in Crestwood since that light has been up. So we're appreciative of that happening. I'd also like to reappoint Stan Clark to the Ambulance Taxing District Board. This appointment would be until February 1st of 2021.
I'd like to make that motion, Judge.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. To the Tourism Commission, a reappointment of George Saliba. George is the owner of McDonald's here in LaGrange. This would be until February 2nd at 2022.
Motion?
For second?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to thank these and all of our board members from the 27 boards and commissions that the fiscal court appoints people to. We have many great people serving in our community in various capacities, and we certainly need them as a community to continue on their service. They spend many hours investigating, following through, and trying to help each one of these services that they oversee provide the best for our community, and I thank them all for the dedication and effort they make to help Oldham County be as successful as we are. We're up to our second public comment now, and I'm going to ask if there's anybody who'd like to address the fiscal court at this point. All right, I guess got two mayors here, then neither one want to speak, so that's okay, I guess. Okay. All right, seeing no one, I'll close public comment, and I'm going to ask the fiscal court now to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810 subsection G. This is a discussion with a business entity concerning a specific proposal that would have some impact here on Oldham County. So,
Second.
was there a motion?
You're not making the motion?
I'm making the motion, you second it, all right? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Didn't ask for no's. They're gonna become one. Trust me. What? Going into executive session. They're gonna be public.
I'm going to ask Mayor Dybel to join us in the executive session, too. I didn't say that, but I should have.
We rolled right along on that, didn't we?
We did.
I was thinking about it.
For the real fun.